Welcome to this explainer. Today we're going to tackle a really crucial and honestly often frustrating narrative problem. How exactly do you write a character departure that doesn't just, lazily move them from point A to point B, but actually feels heavy with existential dread? How do we make leaving home feel like the profound, heartbreaking sacrifice it truly is? Because let's be real, far too often, writers just default to a clunky travel montage to get characters across a map. But instead of taking that easy way out, we are going to look at the demon Bathin. By digging into his traditional lore, we'll see exactly how you can use him as a tool to engineer the perfect, morally complex exile for your characters. Here is our roadmap for today's explainer. We'll be hitting the patron of exile, the anatomy of the guide, shifting the story scale, his use of herbs, stones, and maps, the cost of departure, and we'll wrap up with some really actionable plot hooks and prompts. All right, kicking things off with section 1, the patron of exile. So, traditionally, Bathin is the 18th spirit of the Ars Goetia, and he is just uniquely fascinating. Unlike spirits defined by, say, war or seduction or finding buried treasure, Bathin is the ultimate patron of exile and liminal spaces. He stands right at the crossroads of movement, hidden medicine, and borderland geography. You really have to understand, he isn't a simple taxi service for your protagonist. He's the patron of the passage itself. If we look at his archetype as a forbidden guide and exile maker, he functions as a mentor figure who guides characters through incredibly morally complex transitions. And he does this by offering absolute truth rather than comfort. Now, his greatest strength is understanding how matter stores power, but his defining weakness is just beautifully tragic. He can move a body across the world, sure, but he cannot heal the wound of unbelonging. Moving right along to section 2, anatomy of the guide. When you're describing a figure like this in your writing, his traditional image is so striking. Picture this, a strong man, but with a serpent's tail, seated on a pale horse. This makes him a creature fundamentally divided between human intention and primal instinct. The horse naturally suggests journey and transition. The pale color implies that liminal space between home and exile. And that serpent tail? That is pure hidden danger. It's a visual cue that the road he offers might not be entirely safe. He is wisdom, absolutely, but with a hidden sting. And think about his vibe, his calm demeanor. He is observant and unsettlingly courteous, which creates this incredible tension between the traveler and his offer. He rarely threatens. He just simply, coldly explains the price of passage. His practical, almost polite aid directly contrasts with the crushing emotional burden of leaving home forever. And honestly, that's exactly how you write a compelling mentor. Make the offer seem completely reasonable, even helpful, when in reality, staying would actually be the braver choice. Okay, let's jump to section 3, shifting the story scale. Think about where your story is at right now. Are your characters stuck in a throne room, a secret chamber, maybe dealing with the immediate aftermath of a battle? By acting as a narrative bridge, a Bathynian-like figure allows your plot to seamlessly break out of those confined spaces and enter the dangerous, expansive unknown of the road. He shifts the scale from personal temptation directly into sweeping fantasy geography, perfectly connecting impossible roads with his specific borderland themes. Let's dig into section 4, herbs, stones, and maps. Bathyn's knowledge isn't just flavor text meant to make a fantasy world look cool. His herbal expertise is a dangerous, tangible tool for character development. The herbs represent double-edged medicine, healing, poison, memory, or forgotten folk wisdom acting as a true catalyst for plot progression. The precious stones symbolize hidden truth, wealth, and that intense pressure required to create beauty from buried history.
And like we said, even his serpent tail is a metaphor for consequence. Every escape has a cost, and every single shortcut leaves a mark on the traveler.
I absolutely love this sample opening passage from the source text. It just perfectly captures his detachment from human emotion, which is really what defines his role as a guide. He speaks in weather signs, remedies, and ancient maps. Choose, he says in the text, and I will tell you whether you seek healing, truth, or distance. You can totally channel this exact tone to craft immersive, chilling dialogue for the mentors in your own stories. Keep them measured, keep them distant, and definitely keep them melancholic. Which brings us to Section 5, the cost of departure. Listen, Bathyn should never, ever be written as a simple, convenient spirit. The absolutely crucial point here is that true transition requires a meaningful personal sacrifice. His practical solutions, like, say, a sudden miraculous transport across the world to save a character's life, always come with a devastating existential cost. They are leaving home forever. He belongs to the borderlands, not the throne, and whoever accepts his passage along these forbidden roads might arrive physically safe, but they will be profoundly altered in their identity. Finally, Section 6, Plot Hooks and Prompts. Let's get practical. Try this step-by-step creative writing prompt to design a map featuring his impossible roads. Start with your character completely cornered and desperate. Then, introduce your Bathyn figure offering a hidden route that passes beneath borders rather than across them. But here's the catch. To travel it, the character must trade a precious memory for safe passage. They arrive safe, sure, but a vital piece of their identity is gone forever. Here's another incredibly powerful plot hook straight from the lore. The stone under the tongue. Imagine introducing a gemstone that actually grants your character the ability to speak the language of roads, rivers, and grave soil. But, staying true to the serpent's sting, every answer the stone gives simultaneously forces the character to reveal a deep, personal secret they desperately wanted buried. Talk about turning a magical item into a source of immense character tension. Or you could use the pale horse bargain. A fugitive is cornered and begs for sudden escape. The guide agrees and transports them. But the tragedy? Their new country slowly begins remembering them as if they had always lived there, completely erasing their original past and forcing them to become a stranger to their own history. It's so good. As we close out this explainer, I want to leave you with this provocative question to apply to your own writing. As you draft your next major story transition, consider exactly what your characters are truly willing to lose for a sudden escape. Because if they take the serpent's road, they will never, ever be the same again. Thank you so much for joining me to unpack the brilliant lore of Bathyn. Keep writing, keep exploring those borders, and I will see you in the next explainer.